this that is here is inconceivable miracle. Absolutely. It's no less than that. It's completely inconceivable, unspeakable, unthinkable. It does not exist in any way that you can make any sense of. There is no space as we think of it. There is no time as we think of it. There are no beings as we think of it. And yet nothing is negated. Everything is fully here in the way that it is, but only in the way that it is. But this is a very strange condition, because within it appears interpretations of what it is, narratives that pretend to describe it, that explore the possibility of describing it. And as these narratives appear, consciousness powerfully invests in these narratives and simulates them as if they were true, and asks within them to feel as if they were true. And this becomes a sort of a self-fulfilling seduction where consciousness is drawn into living it as if they actually were what the narratives pretended they are. The relationship between narrative and the actuality is very strange and subtle. The narratives are such that they can seem to comprehensively describe everything and fill everything and completely cover the entirety of being. And yet they do no such thing. They are flimsy, they are tiny, they are minuscule by comparison with the full naked presence of transcendental actuality, which is always right here, right now. And this is a great opportunity in yoga. The challenge in yoga is the seduction of these narratives, the seduction of interpretation. But the great opportunity in yoga is that completely naked, uninterpreted, miraculous, transcendental being is always fully present, nakedly present, to be explored, to be experienced, just as it is. The challenge in yoga is to learn to recognize that, to learn to be able to notice that even as your attention is completely absorbed in these narratives, most of it is not, unrecognized. It can seem to be that you're completely absorbed in the narrative and there's nothing left over that's outside of it. But in actual fact, most of your consciousness, most of your awareness is outside of the narrative. This splits into, I guess, what pop psychology might call the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, where the conscious mind is completely invested in the narrative and the identification of, oh, I'm Peter Brown and I'm in this life and this is happening and elections are coming up and COVID's happening and blah, 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 blah. The whole drama, right? The whole soap opera. But then, meanwhile, there's the unconscious mind, which is silent. It has no words, but it is all of this richness that is here that has absolutely nothing to do with the narrative. So the challenge in yoga, in one sense, is to notice the presence of the unconscious, to notice the presence of the non-conceptual, and to learn to appreciate and participate in this actuality that is always fully present, to explore it and let discover for yourself the proportionality between the narrative and the interpretation and this vast, miraculous, transcendental actuality that is always present. And as you come to explore this and discover that this vastness is the primary reality, is the totality that is here. And the narrative is a tiny little epiphenomena within it that occurs as an aspect of it playing with itself, of it dancing with itself, of it exploring, partialities of itself as it unstoppably does. And this exploration, this discovery of this relationship is yoga. And the relationship between the narrative interpretation and identification and the context within which that occurs, this vast naked presence of being, of transcendental being, is the essence of yoga.